So in this video, we are going to toggle the password. That's if a user enters this password, you will be able to click the show text and see the password, and then the hide text to hide the password. Let's do this. So far I have 3 files created. I have the index.html file, the script.js file, and the style.css file. So in my index.html file, I have created the boilerplate and indicated our h1 and label. Then in my style.css file, I have designed out the body and the main. Then in the script.js file, well, it's empty. And this is what we have so far. But you can find the source code to this on the repo I've shared below. So back to the HTML, create a div inside here. So I'll give this div a class of password field. And inside this div here, I'll create 2 elements. One is an input field and give it a type of, well, let's keep it at password. And then a placeholder of maybe enter password. And that will be enough for the input field. And then create a paragraph. Maybe give it show. So for now, we have our input field and we have the text show. So let's style it up. So for that, I had already linked my style.css file and the script.js file. So I'll move into the style.css file. That's right here. So in the style.css file, I'll style out my password field. Move down here, style the password field. I'll give it a border of 1 pixel. I give it a fixed width for now, that's 250 pixels. Give it a border radius, let's do 5. Give it a position relative, preflex, and it's a height, why not? Let's do 50, 40, let's do 35. Then justify the content to the center. No, let's do space between. Justify content to space between and align items to center. Then we shall give it a padding also. And a vertical padding of 5 pixels, then horizontal padding of 10 pixels. And that's it. So what do we have so far? So far we have our input field and the show button, or keep calling it a button, the show text at the same line. So let's style out the input field. So I'll move down here. Let me scroll past that a little. And say password field, then input. Then I'll give it a width of 100%, same as our password field, and the height still of 100%. Though we don't need the height really. Let's turn off the border, so border none. That's okay. Then on focus, if I can just duplicate this. So when this is in focus, I want it to have an outline of none still. When it's in focus, have an outline. Then for the password field, then the paragraph, we want it to have a cursor of pointer. And I think that's it for the style. So next, let's work on the JavaScript part of it and be able to toggle the password. So to add JavaScript to our project, in the index.js file, you'll have to call the script, that's the script.js file. So, and I'll make a little change here. I would add an on-click event listener and give it a method toggle. We have not created this method yet. And maybe give it an ID of visibility. That's it. So again, I'll open up my script.js file. And the first thing I'll do is create a variable visible and set it to false initially. And then create our function. That's the toggle function. I'm using arrow functions here. So what I want to happen, I want to check if it is visible. By visible, I mean if the password is being seen. If it is visible, I want to get our input field, that's with the document, dot get element by id. Did we really give it an id? Input field, let's just give it now. Give it an id of password. So get the element by id, that's password, and then set its attribute. Let's set attributes, and the attribute I want is the type. Then set it to password. That's if it was visible. I'll set it to password. That's making it more so invisible. Then I'll get the document by id, get element by id. That's the visibility, and if you remember, that's our paragraph. So when it's invisible, I want to set it to show, and when it's visible or it's seen, I want to set it to hide. So get element by id visibility dot inner html is equal to show. Then set the visible to false. So else, I want to do exactly the opposite of this. So just copy this, paste it here. I want to set the type to text, and then set the inner HTML of our paragraph to hide, and set the visible to true. And that's it. So let's try it out. So open up our project here, reload one more time, enter my password, and when I click show, we're able to see the password and then hide. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment.